Hello and welcome to the Advanced Television Video Roundtable once more. This morning we're going to be talking about over-the-top television. Now in every discussion we've had so far, I think 3D and over-the-top television have come up. Personally, I think over-the-top television is the one that is more likely to change the whole television landscape. As usual, I'd like my guests to introduce themselves and I'll turn first to Jonathan.
I'm Jonathan Bevan, Director Marketing at NDS. NDS is a company that supplies end-to-end systems for digital broadcasting, including head-end components, conditional access, digital rights management, middleware, and also we are supplying solutions for over-the-top and hybrid set-top boxes as well.
My name is Matthew Huntington from Nagravision, where I'm the Vice President of Product Marketing. We provide media solutions covering security, service delivery, client technologies, delivering both the traditional pay TV services but also the increasingly available over-the-top services as well.
My name is Gianluca Ferremi. I'm Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Best TV. Best TV is a company much smaller than NDS or OpenTV, and we provide software for push services over the digital terrestrial and satellite broadcast networks. So we provide the ability for broadcaster to put up their pay TV business without having to rely on necessarily an internet connection, but OTT will be part of that platform for hybrid network and hybrid set-top boxes to deliver services.
Okay, well I started off by saying that over-the-top was important. Let's see if that in itself is controversial, and I'll ask the panel to characterise what exactly they think OTT is anyway. I always find it useful for people to to define these terms that sometimes have different interpretations, and also to characterise just how important they think it's going to be over the next 2 or 3 years. Jonathan.
It's certainly very important. It adds an on-demand element to linear television. I think right now the emphasis is all on public broadcasters and catch-up TV services. There will also be an increasing element of replacing the DVD with over-the-top delivery as well. And I think actually probably the third and probably the most important is actually integrating it seamlessly into existing vertically integrated platforms. But right now I think we're just at the beginning.
Matthew?
So I would say that OTT really has two main meanings. One is really the emergence of new delivery platforms, content owners, other people bringing content directly to consumers, effectively disintermediating the pay TV industry. But also it also has the meaning of the pay TV industry delivering their content over the top of networks, whether that's a satellite operator delivering a hybrid service or whether that's a cable operator going off-net.
I didn't think we'd get the disintermediate word quite so early in the discussion, but I'm very glad that we have. Gianluca, how about you?
So, well, let me say I'll take a different approach to answer your question, a little bit more technical. So, OTT is basically the ability to deliver content through the internet without having to set up a big infrastructure, just by using the internet as you have it. I think that in the future, 5 years from now, there will be only two ways to get anything to the consumer. Either it will be wireless or it will be OTT, it will be internet. So the impact of OTT is that it will be tremendous. The challenge right now, and I agree with Jonathan about we are just at the beginning, is how the experience that users have of content over the internet can be in some way brought closer to what the experience of consuming content and pay for it users have on other medium like the television or the satellite television. That will be where right now the market is defining let's say the new rules.
So Jonathan, I mean, you talked about it more as a sort of complementary means of delivery to the infrastructure that we currently have. I mean, first, I mean, do you think these guys are right that it will actually move to become the kind of ubiquitous means of delivery? And secondly, let's all talk about what conditions need to be in the market for that to happen.
Right. I think it will become ubiquitous, but it will not replace broadcasting because broadcasting is very efficient, it's very established, it's very controllable. So for all of those reasons, I don't think broadcasting will be totally replaced. I think it will be extremely important. So if you compare over the top or any kind of on-demand, such as video on demand or digital video recorders, you will see when they're widely deployed with a good selection of content, about 20% of the time people will watch something when they feel like it, but 80% of the time they will continue to watch broadcast TV delivered. So it's absolutely essential that you have it as part of your service, but I don't think it will totally replace broadcasting. Broadcasting has many advantages.
And that's as much down to the habits of the viewer as it is to the technology to deliver it.
I think the technology, you definitely need to have the right technology, and I don't think we're quite there yet with broadband infrastructures to deliver perfect over-the-top television. So I still think we've got some way to go with quality of service and bandwidth. So I don't think it'll instantly take over. And I think the habits of the viewers will also persist, as they do like to lean back and just watch what's being offered to them. So for example, it's absolutely essential that you still have live for news and you still have live for sports and important live events.
So Matthew, I mean, how ready is the market from a technical point of view for OTT in terms of bandwidth availability in developed markets?
So far, we've seen that the infrastructure, if you take the market like UK, very well developed market, we've seen the internet infrastructure is able to support, so far being able to support OTT. But we're already seeing that as people worry about YouView launching next year, that actually that's going to actually strain the infrastructure in the UK, and that the cost of broadband delivery is going to go up. I mean, the bills that consumers pay into their homes are going to go up in order to deal with that demand.
As bizarrely predicted by the Director General of the BBC, I saw yesterday.
Yes.
Thanks very much.
But he's making a very serious point, which is, the internet is not scaled to support the kind of volume of video that's delivered every day through broadcast infrastructure. And I think that we are going to see a shift in technology. So the technology in the internet, more use of fiber, etc., will enable the internet to support much greater delivery of video, and we will see shift in consumer usage where the amount of viewing that they want to watch live gets smaller and smaller and smaller. We are seeing sort of prime time actually increasing in value at the moment. We're increasing audience share. Things like the X Factor, big events are driving people to live TV for the big shows, but the smaller channels, less major events, are losing audience share to things like catch-up and start-over services. So we will see a polarization of TV between a handful of things that really make sense being delivered in broadcast, or a handful of channels, and then a large majority moving over time. The crystal ball question is, what is that period of time to being OTT delivered, or at least on-demand delivered?
Johnny, could you see the market as complementary in that way, but with the broadcast element and the live element being squeezed ever smaller?
So yes, I do see it in the short term as very complementary. I agree with Jonathan about the fact that broadcast will be there for a while longer. My concern about broadcast isn't that much that in itself is not an efficient way to deliver content, is as much that what the FCC in the United States and the European community right now are pushing to claim back that spectrum to sell it for much higher revenue broadband services. So I feel that it will be political, the reason why broadcasters at some point may not broadcast anymore over the air. That won't change in the short term though, and so I definitely believe that they are complementary to each other. But I do believe that at some point there will be a change that we cannot predict yet, because there are two major fundamental things that are coming up right now. One is that the technology change, in the sense ADSL will be still deployed, internet will keep growing, it's more difficult, financial onerous, but it will grow. We will have at some point in time 100 megabits per second at home. And when we will have that, then I don't see why I shouldn't receive everything through that pipe, which is efficient, reliable, under the ground, no more wire and spectrum available for many other services. The second, and I think the most important change, which we cannot predict what impact will have on this, is the generational change, which is I believe that, yes, when everybody, even when I was a kid, when I was 13, I wouldn't pay for anything because I had no money. But once I get a salary, I'm willing to pay for a movie or... So I believe that people will pay also for OTT content. The problem is how they will experience that content, what they will watch, how they will watch it. These will be completely different. So in that sense, I think that OTT is a very flexible platform that can adapt to any type of consumption pattern, much more than broadcast. But again, it will be an evolution in which these two streams will merge into one, and that's the challenge. The first that will identify where that stream is going, I think will take a big chunk of the market.